What's going on, guys? Welcome to another second stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and news report for Thursday, December 24th. First, hopefully you have a very Merry Christmas Eve and a wonderful Christmas. But let's get into the update for today, because I know that's why you're here. First, not a lot has changed. Okay, there are some updates I want to give you. Some of this is huge. It's big. But there's not a lot that has changed for the one simple fact that Mitch McConnell still, we are 36 hours past when President Trump made the announcement that he will not sign the stimulus package and omnibus bill. And Mitch McConnell, one of our leaders, has still not said a thing. So, this to me is insane. How can one of our congressional leaders, the top, Mitch McConnell, okay, one of the main people in Congress, he cannot say a thing. He has not come out and said a thing. So, how can somebody like that stay quiet for so long at such an important and critical time? This is a critical time. The American people, they need a stimulus check. Whether it's $600, if it's $600 and a slap in the face, so be it. $600. Or if it's $2,000, great. But the American people need help. Right now, it's hard to even fathom what happens if no stimulus package is signed. But the American people can't survive with their unemployment benefits running out in just 2 days. It's over in 2 days. The American people will become homeless if there's not another extension to the federal eviction moratorium. That happens in 7 days. We're getting there. It's close. And did everybody forget? Because Nancy Pelosi is talking about a $2,000 stimulus check. Now, we've been calling for this for months. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Democrats haven't been calling for a $2,000 stimulus check for months. They've been wanting to pass a $1,200 stimulus check. And then Nancy Pelosi agrees to a $600 stimulus check. And now she's saying, we've been calling for a $2,000 stimulus check for months. No, not all Democrats have. Ro Khanna, a $2,000 stimulus check. Kamala Harris, a $2,000 stimulus check per month. Bernie Sanders wanted a $1,200 stimulus check. Josh Hawley, a $1,200 stimulus check. So all these people that are coming out of the woodwork saying, we've been wanting a $2,000 stimulus check. No, you haven't. Both Republicans and Democrats. No, you haven't. Don't come out and say that we've been calling for this for months, because that's not the case. And we know that. But did everybody forget? The reason why we are here today, yeah, the government shut us down. They did what they did. Great. Let's get over that. But they need to fix this. But the reason we're here today, the reason why we're talking about getting the stimulus package passed before the end of this year, is not because of all the people that could potentially be homeless. Not because of all the people going to lose their unemployment benefits. Not because of the struggles that all the people are going through. That's not the reason why we're here. The reason why we are here, and Nancy Pelosi said this, and so did Mitch MCConnell, our two leaders. They said the reason why we have to get a deal done now is simple. The vaccine. They're providing $16 billion to go to vaccine distribution and testing and tracing and all that stuff. Great. But that's being held up because of all this other garbage. Money going to other countries that we've been sending for years. That is tied to a vaccine for this country, for you and I. And right now, Congress is not even talking about the vaccine. They're not talking about it anymore. They're talking about, okay, we need stimulus checks. That's what President Trump asked for, stimulus checks. No, he did not just ask for stimulus checks. And that's all Nancy Pelosi and Democrats are talking about right now is President Trump wants a stimulus check. We're going to give him a stimulus check. So this morning, that is exactly what they tried to do. But let me ask you, before I get into the rest of the update, let me ask you, would it matter to you? Would you be okay with a $600 stimulus check, if you knew the $600 stimulus check is coming along with unemployment benefits, rental assistance, food assistance, funding for schools, vaccine distribution funding, would you be okay with a $600 stimulus check for now? And then hopefully when Joe Biden, or if Joe Biden takes office on January 20th, maybe things change. Maybe we get an additional stimulus check. Would you be okay with that? Or would you rather hold out for the possibility of seeing a $2,000 stimulus check? Let me know. Everyone's situation is different, but let me know down in the comment section below what your thoughts are, because I find it very interesting to hear what people have to say based on their current situation. Because again, there's no wrong answer here. There's no wrong answer. Now, today, just a little bit ago, the House tried to pass, or they planned a vote for a $2,000 stimulus check. However, according to multiple reports, Kevin McCarthy told Nancy Pelosi multiple Republicans will not support this, and therefore this vote is dead before it even begins. So stop wasting your time. So I'm not going to waste your time and talk about this vote, because this vote doesn't matter. This vote is not going to go through, so it doesn't matter. But what happens next week? What happens next week? This is what matters. What you need to keep in mind is that I don't expect all of Congress to just go home, celebrate Christmas and Christmas Eve with their family. That's today and tomorrow. Saturday and Sunday are two separate days. They're not holidays. It's just the weekend. I expect Congress, and I expect the Problem Solvers Caucus to be added again. We heard from the Problem Solvers Caucus. We know where they're kind of moving towards and leaning towards as of right now. I'll explain that in just a minute. But first, here's what's going to happen on Monday. This is what all indications are pointing to. Nancy Pelosi is going to hold multiple votes on Monday, December 28th. But it's probably not going to do a lot of good for the American people. Here's the reason why. The votes on Monday, based on all reports right now, these votes on Monday, one is going to be for either a stopgap bill of roughly 1 week, for just to keep the government funded for an additional week. Well, December 28th is the deadline. December 28th is the deadline for the government to run out of funds. They had a 1 week stopgap bill that they passed on December 21st. That is the end. The end is December 28th. That is the deadline. At 11:59 p.m., that is the deadline. The government would shut down at midnight. Now, some are saying that this vote that they're going to do on Monday is going to be for a 1 week stopgap bill. But other reports are saying it's not going to be for a 1 week stopgap bill. Most likely what they're going to do is do a 1 month continuing resolution. This is exactly what they did back in September. If you remember, they did I believe it was September, they did a stopgap bill to get them to December 11th. That's all they did. And this is what they are planning. This is a potential possibility at this point, is they will do a 1 month continuing resolution, just push them into the next administration, and they will pass this bill then. Now, if this is for 1 month, then do not expect stimulus until late into January. That means a stimulus check, means unemployment benefits, rental assistance. We could possibly see the eviction moratorium extended through a executive order, but past that, there might not be anything. Now, the other vote will be to get past President Trump's veto of the NDAA. Most Republicans are going to stand united with President Trump, so this will pass through the House. It will probably just pass right along party lines. So this will pass through the House because they hold majority in the House. The Democrats hold majority in the House. And this will sit at Mitch McConnell's desk, not pass through the Senate. This will be how things will go until we get more information as to who wins the Georgia Senate runoff. That comes on January 5th. Yesterday, I mentioned that Kevin McCarthy is going to attempt to get Democrats on board with removing state aid and foreign affairs from the omnibus bill and then passing it separately. However, and I said this yesterday, Democrats will not go for this. We heard multiple reports again early this morning. Democrats will not go for this. They do not want to break up the bills. And this will mean additional stimulus at this time will probably be a no-go. Okay? Again, we are waiting to hear from Mitch McConnell and the Republicans. We can only guess what's going to happen, what Mitch McConnell will do. He could ultimately come out and say, yes, let's do $2,000 stimulus checks. Let's get it done. But most people don't expect that's what he's going to do. But what we know is Democrats and Republicans have to stand united within their parties. Democrats, that's why they're all saying, yes, we've been calling for $2,000 stimulus checks for months. And Republicans, on the other hand, like, well, we're just staying quiet. We're not going to say anything. And hopefully this just goes away. It's not going to go away. The American people are going to know. Right now, barring any breaking news, the most likely outcome at this point is passing a continuing resolution to keep the government open for one more month and then waiting for Joe Biden to take office or for President Trump to, regain office or whatever on January 20th. But you got to keep in mind, President Trump is still contesting this election. He's still contesting this election. So there's no guarantee it's Joe Biden that takes office in 1 month. Chances are, yes, it will be Joe Biden. But there's still no guarantees. Now, we do know that the Problem Solvers Caucus is working on getting another stimulus package passed by the end of this year. Yesterday, the two chairs of the Problem Solvers Caucus held a little meeting, interview, and gave us some insight as to what they are thinking moving forward. According to the co-chairs of the Problem Solvers Caucus, they feel that President Trump likes the stimulus package as it is, minus the $600 stimulus check. If we can increase the stimulus check to, let's say, $2,000 like President Trump requested, or even $1,200, which is better than $600, it's not quite $2,000, but it's close, it's somewhere in the middle. Would President Trump go for that? They believe he would. But here's the issue. The real issue comes down to the government funding bill. So, what the Problem Solvers Caucus is currently looking into, they have 25 Republicans, 25 Democrats, and what they are trying to figure out is, can we split the two bills? They wrote them separately. They wrote the two bills separately. Government funding bill is one bill, about 5,000 page bill, monstrosity of a bill, horrible read. Do not read it. It's absolutely dreadful. And then we have the 600 page, roughly 600 page stimulus package. That's a good read. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but there's also some stuff that I'm not getting into right now. But so there's that one as well. They wrote those separately, and then they combined them because that's what Democrats said we need to do. We need to combine those to get this bill passed. Because if we do not combine these, there's some people that like the stimulus package that do not support the government funding bill. But if we put them together, they'd pass. Other people like the government funding bill, but do not like the stimulus package because it's not enough. So if we put them together, it would most likely pass. Well, now, after they wrote them separately, combined them, made them the Corona bus, now they're thinking about, well, let's just separate them and let's vote on them individually and then let's see what happens there. Now, what I can tell you is this. When they go and separate the two bills and vote on them separately, but on the stimulus package, if they increase that to $2,000, here's what's going to happen. And this is exactly what Tom Reed, one of the co-chairs, said yesterday, late last night. He said, if we do this and we provide $2,000 stimulus checks, not to just the unemployed, but we provide $2,000 stimulus checks to the unemployed and the employed, what's going to happen is now Republicans are going to come back and say, all right, we're giving $2,000 stimulus checks per person. So let's say a family of 5 will receive $10,000. Okay? I'll use my family for example. Myself, my wife, our 3 kids. $10,000. $10,000 for a family of 5. That can change people's lives. That can change their lives. Now, here's what you need to know. If we do this, Republicans will most likely say, okay, we're going to give somebody with a job $2,000. Well, if that's the case, and we're still going to give unemployment benefits of $300 per week for 11 weeks, we need to bring the cost down. The cost is just too expensive. Because this can be closer to like $1.4 billion, $1.5 billion. Or $1.5 trillion, excuse me, trillion with the T, not billion. They're going to say it's too expensive. Let's bring the cost down. How about instead of $300 per week for people on unemployment, let's give them $200 per week, and let's do it for like 8 weeks. We were at 16 before, and then we settled on 11 weeks, okay, a 5-week decrease, 11 weeks at $300 per week. It's still a decent amount of money, but most likely they'd say, well, let's bring it down a little bit more. And then let's see, oh, there's money for education. We can't really do away with that. We can't get rid of PPP funding for small businesses. That's needed, but how about we get rid of this and that? How about we bring it down a little bit? Do we need all this money for vaccine distribution? No? Well, let's bring it down. And so that's what's going to happen, is Republicans and Democrats are going to get back to the drawing board, back to the negotiation table, and continue to fight over $2,000 stimulus checks or a $1,200 stimulus check versus that $600 stimulus check, which they already agreed upon. So right now, here's the issue, is we are going to go back to the drawing board if all the stuff that I just outlined, if this is actually what happens, which most people are expecting and all reports indicate, a continuing resolution for at least 1 month is the most likely outcome. That's not good. That is not good, because if they vote and get a continuing resolution for 1 month, they also need to get another eviction extension, possibly for another month. They should do something for unemployment for about another month. They should do something for vaccine distribution. Okay? There's all this stuff. PPP funding for small businesses. All these things are tied into this. And the real issue is there's very, very few people that believe they can come to some type of agreement if there's a $2,000 stimulus check included. So even though I personally believe a $2,000 stimulus check per person, would be great, would be incredible, and help out millions of people, I do feel that by adding that into the stimulus package, it's going to make everything else smaller. It's going to make a lot of this stuff harder to negotiate. But it could happen. So that's what we know right now. But as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back and share more. I don't expect a lot of updates throughout today and tomorrow. I will do another stimulus update tomorrow morning if anything changes. I might do another one later today as well, just depending on what my schedule looks like and if there's any updates. So hopefully you guys have an incredible rest of your day. Have a wonderful Christmas Eve and Christmas. I will be back soon. Keep you updated on everything that's going on. Just want to thank you guys and for supporting the channel, continuing to watch my videos. I greatly appreciate every single one of you, so thank you. Last thing I just want to say, consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.